What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm actually at lunch right now, but I figured I'd do a quick intro clip for my next video. I've already filmed the workout, so that works. So it's a mix of glutes and shoulders. I've actually been splitting up, my hand is shaking so bad. I've been splitting up my muscle groups so that I can train legs and glutes more often, because I found that when I was trying to do that for like a full hour-long workout, my glutes just kind of wouldn't fire properly by the end of it. They were just too fatigued to keep doing like a full workout. So I found that it's a lot easier for me to do, say, like 2 heavy compound movements and then maybe a little bit of band work and then move on to another muscle group. So I can kind of do everything a little bit more often, and I don't 100% fatigue a muscle group for each workout, but I kind of like doing them more often. It's just been working for me. So that is the mix. It's glutes and shoulders. I will walk you through everything again, just give you my little tips and tricks, and hope you like it. So our first exercise is the Sumo Deadlift again. I just really like this as a compound movement for legs and especially glutes. So you want to keep your toes pointed kind of like 45 degrees outward if that's comfortable, and have your knees follow your toes just like a squat, and have a tight core and neutral back. This is not one you want to round your back on because you will hurt yourself. So as you start out, have your hips back, and then use your legs and your hips to pull the weight up. Your back and your whole upper body is really just meant to support the weight. You want to use your hips to pull the weight upward, and then of course squeeze at the top and lower down slowly. I'm sorry that this angle is kind of weird. I did mess up my camera stand. My bad. So for the next exercise, I went to the Smith machine to do some curtsy lunges. So first you want to center yourself under the bar and have your foot a little bit in front of you and more towards the center. And while you're doing this, obviously have your knees follow your toes, just like all other leg movements. So you want to push your hips back, and for this right leg you want to push back a little bit more to the right and have that left leg come a little more behind you than a regular lunge. And you want to push back until you feel the squeeze in your glutes, and then slowly push yourself up. And what I did here was have my back leg come off the floor a bit so that I know I'm not using that as well to push myself up. You really want to be using just the front leg and just do a very slow and controlled movements with the stretch. So on the opposite set, so I did the lunges on the first and third set, and the second and fourth I did these squats, and they are wide stance squats because I'm trying to focus on the glutes. So point your toes out, have your knees follow your toes, and push your hips back. You want it really slow and controlled until you feel the stretch in your glutes and push up. I did not come all the way up because I wanted to keep constant tension on the glutes to really stretch them out. So you want to keep just in that sort of area where it's constant tension. So then I burnt out the glutes. I started out with 20 pulse squats with the band. So feet pointed a little bit out. You want to keep your knees out with constant tension on the band, and just push your hips back like a regular squat, neutral back, and just pulse it out for 20. And then I went straight into these glute bridges with the band. Again, constant tension with the band and squeeze at the top. I believe I did 20 of these. And then I just took a really quick water break and went straight into doing both of those again, just to really burn out the glutes. Now it's time for shoulders. So I did do a warm-up for my rotator cuffs. I just didn't film it. So my first actual exercise was these lateral raises, and for these you want your feet at least hip width apart for support and really engage your core. And you want to start with the weight a little bit in front of you like I did, and you want to pull it slowly outwards. Don't hunch your shoulders, you're not trying to use your traps. Your delts are really just pulling the weight outwards, very slow and controlled, up and down to really feel the burn. You can either have your arms come up to about horizontal like I did, or just a little bit above, but especially if you're going heavy, you don't go too far above. So I did front raises after that, same, foot width and engaging your core. You want to keep your chest up for this so that you're using your front delts properly. Again, slow and controlled, but you can switch up your hand position like I did, where you either have your palms facing in with your thumbs up, or you can have your palms facing down. It really depends what feels better for you. I think I get a better contraction in the proper place with my thumbs up. However, it does sometimes tweak my shoulder a little bit, so I think it is a little bit easier with your palms down. So our last exercises for the rear delts, I did them on the bench to limit momentum. So essentially keep your shoulders down so they're not hunching yet again, and pull the weight out just like all the other shoulder movements. You really want to do it slowly and feel the squeeze at the top before lowering the weight, and control it on the way down. You can either have your palms facing down like me, or have your pinkies up so your palms are more facing your feet, whichever feels like a better contraction for you. I like it this way because my shoulders feel a little bit more stable, just because I've rolled my shoulders out a few times in my life, and so if I have it the other way, I tend to roll it. So whatever's more comfortable, as long as you're squeezing and controlling it.